Hello, Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of ours. You guys are the real lovelies. I came across this video on my For You, and I thought to share with you guys where this, bill which actually allows teenagers that is as low as 14 years to be able to work overnight on those jobs that was being abandoned by undocumented immigrants got a lot of people reacting, and I was like, what is the plan? Guys, I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video, and please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. Alright, lovelies, let's dive into it.
So Florida said, fuck it. We got rid of all our undocumented migrants. We're going to replace them with 14-year-old kids. Yes, Florida is pushing a bill that would allow 14-year-olds to work overnight in goddamn factories to replace migrant workers that have been gone, that left because they are being deported, or they were fear being deported, or they were fear being put in ICE detention. This is some bullshit. So we get rid of the education system so we can make workers. I could have sworn Project 2025 had something like this. I could have sworn we said this shit during the election, that Trump and the Republican Party likes your children stupid so they can put them to work. The 1% does not need thinkers. They need workers. They need bodies. Hell, even goddamn Elon mama said, I need y'all to work for my son. What part of y'all? I don't understand how y'all don't see this shit. It has nothing to do with race. It has to do with classism. And the 1% don't want your children educated, smart, thinking for themselves, starting their own businesses. They want their asses in those factories working to keep them rich, and keep their children rich, and keep their children's rich. And if this shit passes in Florida, Texas, Mississippi, and Alabama are not too far behind. Oh, let's add Oklahoma too.
When we said they were coming after your children, everybody called us crazy. They're not going to do that. You guys are fear-mongering. Look at what they're doing. They're repealing or looking to repeal child labor laws, trying to make it so that 14-year-olds can work overnight shifts. How are 14-year-olds going to be working overnight shifts if they're also supposed to be in school? That's why they want to dismantle the Department of Education. Like this, it's all connected, dude. Like, this is insane.
Florida has fucked around, and now they're finding out. And you know who's paying the price? Children. Due to the mass deportations in Florida, Florida is experiencing a major labor shortage. And in order to combat this, they are relaxing child labor laws. Not only are they relaxing child labor laws, but they're also introducing a bill that would allow companies to pay less than minimum wage. SB 918 would relax child labor laws and would allow children as young as 14 to start working overnight shifts. Now, while introducing SB 918 is bad enough and would allow children to work overnight shifts even during the week on school days, they are also introducing HB 1225. And what this does is it allows organizations and corporations to offer apprenticeship roles or internships, which would allow people to accept less than minimum wage for the job. So not only is Florida using child labor to fill this labor shortage, they're also putting in place laws and regulations to allow corporations to take advantage of the situation and to pay less than minimum wage for that labor. So Florida.
America is officially in the pits. Florida is debating whether to lift child labor laws due to a job shortage due to all of the migrants that they have rounded up and shipped out of Florida.
You can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
There are things like child labor laws put into place to protect children from being overworked and to provide safety for children working jobs that they should not be working on. This bill would allow workers as young as 14 years old to work overnight shifts, even on school nights, because there is a job shortage in Florida right now. If this isn't Governor DeSantis a fuck around and find out moment, I don't know what is. just can't be what people voted for. This can't be what you thought. Yes, this is going to be for me. He's making the country great again. To allow children to work overnight, because what kind of overnight jobs are there? Amazon, factory workers, stock rooms, children as young as 14. Florida has always been the underarm pit of America. But bro, this is fucking crazy. This is crazy.
The state of Florida is considering loosening child labor laws because they can't fill jobs because they're scaring away all of the undocumented immigrants. The proposal would allow children to work earlier than 6:30 in the morning and later than 11 p.m. at night. It would also allow 14-year-olds to work night shifts even on school days. Also end guaranteed meal breaks for 16 to 17-year-olds. This is obviously due to both state and federal efforts to scare away immigrants in the state of Florida. It's almost like immigrants are necessary for the economy. This, my friends, is F around and find out.
Florida is debating whether or not they should lift restrictions on child workers today. Now that there's all these jobs open in Florida because all of the immigrants are leaving or being sent to Venezuela, Florida thinks that they should let children fill those jobs. And you might be thinking, oh, this is a dead bill. This is ridiculous. You're fear-mongering again. Au contraire, my dear Watson. Because why do I have a quote from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis? Do me a favor and please engage with this case. It reads, why do we say we need to import foreigners, even import them illegally, when teenagers used to work at these resorts? College students should be able to do this stuff. College students are busy a lot of the time trying to get school done. And same with teenagers. They're trying to live their life. Extracurriculars, who you're going to ask to prom, all of the stressful things, acne. But they want to make it so teenagers can work overnight jobs on school days. Currently, they are prevented from working any earlier than 6:30 or later than 11 p.m. Which makes sense. School. But we know the enemy of the Republicans right now are educated people. So, this helps prevent education. So what do you think of this? Now we're going to bring back child labor. What else are we going to do? The Handmaid's Tale is not supposed to be a reality. It's not a checklist of what to do. Oy vey. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think it's okay for children to work overnights as young as 14 years old to work overnights? Or do you think, like me, that they should be focused on their education? Because there's no reason that children should be working outside of these hours anyway. Anyway. Please follow me here and everywhere else. We're almost at the April 5th deadline for TikTok going away. And I love you. Bye!
Florida is panicking to fill jobs vacated by undocumented immigrants, and you want to know what their solution is? To roll back child labor laws. Yep, that would allow teens to work overnight shifts even on school nights. Right now, Florida law prevents 14 and 15-year-olds from working past 11 p.m. or before 6:30 a.m. on school nights. Now, why is this all happening exactly? Because after Florida's crackdown on undocumented workers, businesses are struggling to fill low-wage jobs. And because businesses are unwilling to sweeten the pot by raising wages or improving work conditions, people are not willing to take those jobs. Don't act shocked. We told you this was going to happen. Florida is now so desperate to fill those holes before their entire economy collapses that they are looking to teenagers to fill the gap. The bill would also allow homeschooled teens aged 14 and 15 to work longer hours even during school days. And it would remove guaranteed meal breaks for 16 and 17-year-olds. You don't even got to feed them anymore. And when economists warned about this backfiring, DeSantis said, quote, "What's wrong with expecting our young people to be working part-time?" Bro, read the fucking room. Meanwhile, child labor violations in Florida have tripled in recent years, and they want to now loosen these child protections even more. Doesn't seem like the best fix for me.
It's Tuesday night, and here's what happened. The genetic testing company 23andMe has officially filed for bankruptcy. Now, they say that filing for bankruptcy is just a way for them to reorganize their debt and hopefully continue to provide the services that you've come to know and love. I'm wishing you the best with that, but for me, I went in and deleted my entire genetic profile and had them destroy the lab. They've actually made it very easy for you to delete your profile and download all of your data before whatever happens next with them happens. Today, the Trump administration said that there will be no repercussions for the members of the Houthi PC small group Signal Chat that planned to bomb Yemen, with Trump going so far as to blame the reporter who was added to the chat for being a, quote, sleazebag. And to try and bury this Signal story altogether, today Trump signed an executive order that would require you to show proof of citizenship to register to vote. Wendy Weiser, the vice president for democracy at the Brennan Center for Justice at NYU, says the executive order is unlawful. The president does not have the authority to require this. The president cannot override a statute passed by Congress that says what is required to register to vote on the federal registration form. Trump is threatening to withhold federal funding to the states who refuse to comply with this new executive order. Under the order, you would have to show a passport or a real ID to be able to register to vote. Your birth certificate would no longer be enough. The executive order also seeks to limit the counting of mail-in ballots. Right now, if your ballot is postmarked by Election Day, then it gets counted. But he's saying, no, it would have to be counted by Election Day to be counted. He also cut the funding for the National Database of Domestic Terrorists, School Shooters, and Hate Crimes. The database was run by the University of Maryland, and it cost only like $3 million. But they are going to fund a vaccine skeptic to head a federal study on the connection between vaccines and autism. Bobby hired David Geyer, I think it's produced, to produce this analysis. This is the same guy who was disciplined by Maryland regulators over a decade ago for practicing medicine without a license. He and his father are obsessed with the idea that vaccines cause autism, even though it has been scientifically debunked. Also today, Florida said they plan to roll back some child labor laws so that kids could work before 6:30 in the morning or after 11 p.m. and help fill some of the open jobs now that they have deported so many undocumented immigrants. Tomorrow at 11:30 a.m., I will be interviewing Senator Elizabeth Warren over on the Substack. But while you wait for that to go down, please check out the Substack for the article we posted yesterday about Darvo. Back in 1997, a psychologist named Jennifer Freed came up with a really interesting acronym, Deny, Attack, Reverse, Victim, Offender. And we make the argument that this is at the root of literally everything that Donald Trump does. Jed works super hard on this one, so please go over to the Substack and check it out. Let me know what you think. Sometimes understanding the way that people think can help us build our own ways out of the psycho-crazy corn maze of Trump policies that we're forced to endure every single day.
Republicans want to bring back child labor to solve labor shortages due to their mass deportation campaigns. Florida Republicans are pushing for a bill that would loosen child labor laws in a desperate attempt to fill jobs left vacant by mass deportations. The proposed law, which will be debated this week, would allow children as young as 14 to work overnight shifts, something that is currently prohibited. If passed, the bill would give employers the right to schedule teenagers, some of whom are in middle school and high school, to work on school days, even late at night, without the current limits on work hours. Governor Ron DeSantis supports the bill. Of course he does, claiming that young people, including teenagers and college students, should fill the jobs that were left vacant by recently deported workers. He believes that requiring children to work these jobs is a solution to the state's labor shortage. Anybody with a brain, though, can see how this plan could exploit vulnerable children. Loosening child labor protections will only fuel inflation and create further labor shortages as workers are pushed into more difficult and unsafe jobs. Child labor laws were put into place to protect young workers from harmful conditions, but this new bill threatens to reverse those hard-fought-for protections. Florida has already made it easier for children to work in recent years. Last year, a law was passed allowing homeschooled teenagers to work at any hour of the day. The state has also made employers check the immigration status of their workers, leading to fines for those who don't comply. But as child labor violations rise, nearly tripling in recent years, Florida's plan to ease regulations is sacrificing the welfare of children for the sake of filling these jobs.
It's time to speak up. So Florida passed a bill to change their child labor laws today. They changed the bill so that children as young as 14 can work more than part-time hours and can work overnight. Because apparently nobody in the Republican Party realized how much immigrants do in this country. They build our houses, they mow our lawns, they clean our resorts we want to go vacation in, they cook our food. But now that they're gone, guess what? Florida doesn't have people to do those jobs. So their solution, let's send the kids in. Good. Because, they're so concerned about our kids. They are so concerned about our daughters that we had to have a whole bathroom bill, but they're going to let our daughters work overnight doing jobs that usually grown-ups did. Go love your neighbor.
Florida is the latest in a number of states to roll back their child labor laws, allowing younger and younger children to work longer hours in more dangerous jobs. And this is directly related to cutting the Department of Education. Those two things
rolling back child labor laws and cutting the Department of Education, those go together. And I have been beating that drum for a while, right? I've been talking about this for a while. But don't worry, it's not your kids that they're going to put to work. No, it's not your kids. If you look like this, it's not your kids that are going to be going to work. I can also see incarcerating more youth, right? So that they can use them for labor. Not that I'm making that sound with my voice, not because I like it, but because I can't fucking believe we got here. We're really bringing back the roaring 20s.
You fuck around and then you find out, what is this? I'm going to stitch it in now. Okay, so Florida is now thinking, oh no, we got rid of those immigrants who were hardworking and that were actually a very important part of our economy. So what are we going to do to fix it? Kids, yeah. We've just gotten rid of the Department of Education. So yeah, children are going to solve this problem. You know what this is like? It's like there's a rat problem. So they bring cats, and now there's a cat problem. And so they bring in the coyotes, and then they're like, fuck, there's so many coyotes. How do we get out of this mess? But don't worry, it gets worse, much worse. They have advanced a bill that would allow 14-year-olds to work overnight on school days. Gun reform to protect children in schools? No. A new bill to make sure that children can work overnight on school days? Yes. 1,000 times yes.
Please. When I say that, this administration actually have a lot on their sleeve. Like, I think this has nothing to do with race anymore. And that is why it's as if everyone is being affected. It has nothing to do with race anymore. Okay, they actually, deported these proposed undocumented immigrants, right? And I was even thinking that upon deporting them, they have a backup plan, like a reasonable one, a backup plan, maybe creating more job opportunity and increasing the finances or the salaries. But no, the plan is to deport these undocumented immigrants, right? Then passing a bill that actually gives room for teenagers, for child labor. Wow. Like, I didn't even see this coming, lovelies. I did not see this coming. I was even thinking about something else. But no, it's even far from it. Like, from the ray and cis thing, it's far from the color. This is all about classism. They actually want to put some group of people dependent to other, like, is this why everyone is being affected, even both the proposed hierarchy people, the majority group? Like, is this the reason why they are being affected elsewhere? They are not even looking towards that. This administration is actually looking towards, not educating the younger generation, then making them to work. Dreams has always been not to get the younger ones educated. They don't want them to know what is happening. They just want to have the bridge between the poor and the rich. It has always been all about, having a gap between the poor and the rich. And this still bring us to the same thing. The same people who never saw this at the onset decided to vote against their own interests. Even when black people were actually telling you guys that you have to look at this thoroughly. Everyone was actually thinking that, black people were just trying to, because they want to benefit. It's no longer a fight for only people that look like me. This is just a fight between the rich and the poor. They just want to keep, this is actually the reason why, if you are as an outsider or a foreigner have about 5 million, you're automatically a citizen. What does that tell you? That tells you that they want to maintain a particular, status. They don't want to have anything to do with, people dealing with hardship. This is why when you're even complaining about the high rate of grocery prices, they don't care about that. The other time, people were like, especially my supporters, were complaining because of the egg prices, and Orange Man has to like shush, stop complaining about the egg prices. They don't care about you. They don't care about anyone. They only care about themselves, and they care about their own friends, relations, and all of that. They don't care about you. Like, this is child labor. Exactly. They want to maintain a particular hierarchy. They want, their generation and generation yet unborn to have a specific than you that they don't even care. Like, was that the reason why they have this high rate of undocumented and documented deportations and all of that? Like, seriously? Like, seriously, lovelies? That means they had it at the back of their mind that, okay, they're just probably going to hire these younger ones, give them some peanuts, and at the end of the day, make sure that each family is not comfortable. They might even go ahead to reduce the pays of these parents, because they want your own offspring to work and bring home back to you. I thought they said that America is a developed country, but they are taking people back to the developing country. Like, back in the time where small people, younger people have to work. Oh my goodness, lovelies. Anyway, lovelies, wanna just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video, and please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. So guys, if you've not subscribed to this channel, do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.